No.
Great, let's do this.
Go.
Bow ties are cool. Matt Smith. Now, Matt Smith is the popular incarnation of the 12th, or rather 11th version of the Doctor, known famously for his TV show Doctor Who. His main fashion statement was, in fact, the bow tie, taking it back from years and years of public slander as opposed to the more common necktie. Bow ties, once only used at social events like the prom, are now used at all kinds of events, whether it be a simple Park Hill JA dance or high-profile fashion events. Bow ties have had a re-emergence, a rejuvenation in how they're used, and the bow tie in itself brings along many questions. 1, why would you wear it anything other than a necktie? 2, does a bow tie even look good with anything? And 3, and probably the most important question, how do you even tie a bow tie? While many people do resort to things like clip-on bow ties, other things are a little more credible. Making sure that we can tie a bow tie is going to be the primary focus today, and though I have 40 bow ties in my collection, we're going to be teaching you how to tie a simple black bow tie. I'll be teaching you this in 3 fundamental steps. First, the difference between a bow tie and a necktie and how the distinctions are different. Second, the importance of the tying process and how massive it may be. And finally, the shaping of a bow tie and how it deems how society will perceive you. First, let's start off with a bow tie. An untied bow tie looks a little bit like a ramen noodle with fatter ends. The main thing you should start off with is looking at how long the necktie can be. It goes by inches around the circumference of your neck. For some, you could have a smaller neck and put the sides down here. For those with wider, you put it on the other end. So, you start by lifting your collar and putting the bow tie around, making sure the ends are exactly equal on your chest. You will pull the left end then down to the top of the left bow. On that step then, you cross them like you would a normal necktie and loop under and pull tightly around your neck. Simple enough. Now the only difference between how you do this as opposed to a necktie is that a necktie will often go far deeper so the tie can hit an adequate length and then the bow behind it, or rather the tie, won't have to be seen. On a bow tie, that's not the goal at all. The goal is to make one longer than the other for the purpose that both bows will be equal, because the tying length and what will be the actual center of your tie also has to be taken into account. Following that, we move on to the second point, the importance of the tying process and just how massive it is. Whereas neckties can get very annoying in that they constantly hit your belt or your chest, or often go askew left or right, bow ties will always stay in place, and the only thing you have to worry about is if it's crooked or not, which is an easy fix. The next step after you have tied it securely around your neck and tightened it, you'll take the smaller bow and you'll put it directly against your throat. For this, you want to make sure the divot in between both ends of the bow line up exactly with the middle so the knot can be perfectly in the center. Then you'll take the other portion and align it directly. That way, one bow will be straight down and one will be sideways. You then fold the bow horizontally so that you can encompass the bottom. Here, you will then fold the top part of the bottom bow over so it looks a little bit like a Muppet's mouth. Once you have folded that, you'll figure out which side you put the initial covered bow on, because there's an end where it is just one simple bow tie end and one where it's an actual bow in which it has a gap of air in the middle. Depending on which side that gap of air is on, you'll then put the other pertaining Muppet mouth sided bow on the other side. So, since this Muppet mouth is on the left, I'll start by going left ways first, folding it out and putting it in that way. There will be a small gap that will form behind the initial knot, and that's where you insert the second bow. You tuck it through and pull so that both bows are equal. And that's the beginning of the bow tie, and where you can really see both bows come into place. Now the final and most key step is about shaping the bow, because if a bow tie looks bad, too long, too thin, not right, it can make the outfit look completely irreplaceable. Something that you never want to wear in public again. Believe me, it's happened. The fundamental goal of shaping the bow is making the knot tight and the bows equal. In order to make the knot in the middle tight, you pull on the back of the two bow sides. So by pulling on the back, the knot increases, and so do the bow lengths. You want to go slowly, that way you can make sure both sides of the bow are relatively equal. Because if one side is too long, then it's going to look askew, so that the knot comes to one side and one side is dramatically larger than the other. That's why the importance of the knot being tight is key. That way it can't slide out in the middle of a dance or a social event, so one side looks longer. It will always stay perfectly in the middle. Once tightened sufficiently, then it becomes to shaping. Both sides of both bows should be equal to each other. That way you don't see the back bow pursing out or the front overtaking the back. If they're equal, then it becomes far easier for you to use in the future. Making those bows equal is going to be the key and the center of your outfit. Now, many colors can go with a bow, and a bow tie specifically can go with almost any color of outfit. Black, white, gray are all popular colors, but if you want a little bit of a Park Hill red, make sure that you can have an outfit that goes with it. Normal fashion rules apply. Don't wear navy blue with black, and all the accordance of color choices. So in conclusion, when it comes to shaping the bow, the size shouldn't matter. It's all about how the bow looks and comes to be. And while many people say that tying a necktie is significantly more difficult, it's a lot easier than most people think. In the words Neil Armstrong probably should have said, it's one small tie for man, one giant fashion statement for mankind. In order to make sure that you look your best at your next social event, tie a bow tie. Be original, make sure that you have your own way. And when it comes to looking good, the bow tie will never fail you. Thank you.